everybody, this is Tracy here for another edition of A View from Tracy's Point, and we are here to recap Married to Medicine Season 5, Episode 17, Reunion Part 2. So the show picks up where it left off with Simone talking about her decision to file for divorce, and Heavenly is very emotional, although I didn't see not one tear fall out of her eye. But she says that she had no clue that things were so bad, especially when she was joking with Simone about her and Damon taking over the couples therapy and the couples retreat. And so she says that her and Damon really looked up to Simone and Cecil as the perfect couple. So Simone starts crying and she responds and says that there is no such thing as a perfect couple and that they have gone as far as they can go. She's okay with the decision and she just needs everybody else to be okay with it. And she says that marriage is a team sport and she didn't feel like part of the team any longer and that they're not on bad terms. And as a matter of fact, that her and Cecil attended Eugene's birthday party together, and nobody, I guess, could tell that they had filed for divorce. And so Andy asked Toya, if she knew about the separation, and Toya said yes, that, Simone had called her in advance and told her, but that they were still going to come to the party. So Heavenly asked, if Simone felt that being on reality TV was the demise of their marriage. And Simone says, let me be crystal clear, okay? So she said that Cecil had been unavailable emotionally for 10 years. And then she says that the show has been a blessing and she's not trying to, cover up or, tie up her life anymore. She's ready to be free and to move on to the next chapter. But Toya didn't want to hear that because Toya is all about marriage. So Toya, starts pushing her buttons when she says that Cecil doesn't want a divorce. And so Simone, gets loud with Toya and says that Cecil can say whatever he wants, but he's not acting like he doesn't want a divorce. He's not acting like he wants to stay together. So when it all came down to what really, really happened, we found out that the two of them had gotten into an argument. And so she wanted to schedule an appointment with the counselor and see if they could get the counselor to do one of them little video conferences like they did for Jackie and Curtis. So she says that Cecil got up the next morning and he already had plans for something that he needed to do. And they got into another argument and she wanted him to stay home, but he was hell-bent that he was going. And so she gave him an ultimatum and said, if you walk out that door and leave, then it's over. And he walked out the door and left. So what we found out was behind all of this is that Cecil has a best friend who is a female. And that the two of them had some plans. I don't know if they were going golfing or if they had like a charity event. I don't know what they was going to do, but whatever it was more important than him getting on that phone with that marriage counselor to see if they could talk through their situation. So Toya's still pushing, Simone's buttons, asking her, if she asked, when Cecil was determined to leave, did she ask him why he was leaving? And then Andy wanted to know, like the rest of us, like, was something going on between Cecil and this woman? Like, why you just letting your husband run around town with another woman and you ain't there? So at this point, Jackie had then got up and came over and sat between Toya and Simone. And so they all agreed, like all three of the ladies was like, no, it's purely platonic. There's nothing going on. But Simone kind of hinted that the lady did like come between them, like she became a burden in their marriage. And then Toya slipped in. I don't know if y'all caught it or not, but she basically was saying that the woman was out doing outings with Cecil that his wife should have been doing. So basically, I guess she was saying that Simone was okay with the lady hanging out with Cecil because she trusted the lady, and that was less time that she had to be bothered with Cecil, and she can go on and do whatever, live in her north house while he was in the south house. And I was like, you left that door wide open, honey, Miss Simone. Ain't nothing you can do. You can pull it back in, pull the reins back in if you really want to save your marriage. But yes, sister, you left that door wide open. So the camera keeps going to Quad, who is actually shedding tears. Like, she was really crying. The jury's still out on whether or not Dr. Heavenly was crying or not. And so Andy turns to Quad and asks her, what is she feeling? And then here she go. So we're going to move right along. Y'all know how I feel about Quad when she get into those dramatic, theatrical monologues of her. I ain't here for it. So then Jackie says that she spent, I guess after all of this happened, she spent that Sunday with Simone, making sure that Simone was okay. And she says that she loves Cecil to death, and she's actually known Cecil longer than she's known Curtis, I think she said. But she says that, if the divorce goes through, she gets Simone in the divorce, but she'll still be friends with Cecil. And she says that she just wants for Simone to be okay, and that if this is what she wants to do, then she's going to be a friend and stand behind her or beside her 100%. So then they take a break, and Andy goes in to ask Mariah if she would be returning to the stage, and that if Heavenly apologizes, would that make everything okay? So Mariah says that, she'll think about it. So then I think Adam pointed out that Heavenly always apologizing, and then she turned around and do the same thing over again. So then Mariah says she'll come back out there, but if things start getting heated again, then she's walking off and she ain't coming back. So they come up with the code word purple. So if she says purple, that lets Andy know that she getting ready to roll out. So then Andy was getting ready to go and meet with the guys separately. So Mariah was telling Aiden, you going on over there with the guys and do the part with the guys, and don't let them walk all over you. Stand up over you. You stand up and you make your points be known. I'm just like, Mariah, you probably be walking all over Aiden. Then the ladies have come off the stage and they're gathered in a room, and so that they can watch the men when they do their little part. And then Jackie says that the men are nervous as long-tailed monkeys in a rocking chair. Now that's an old country saying right there. So Jackie, you aging yourself with that one. So then we move over to the men. So the men are sitting at this really big bar, and it's like a triangle shaped bar, and Andy is like sitting in the middle. So I guess he's supposed to be like the bartender, but he's really there sitting there serving up the tea. So he says that he wanted to do this because the men were such a pivotal part of the show this season that he felt like they deserved their own segment. So Curtis says that it's been a rough season, having his infidelity play out on the screen like that. And he says that although he was nervous, he was more focused on saving his marriage, and if that was something he had to go through to fix his marriage, then he was okay with the sacrifices. And then he seems offended by comments that the guys made when they were at the cigar bar, but feels that altogether, the guys are in a good place and they meant well. But then all of a sudden he started attacking Eugene because of things that Eugene has said throughout the season. So then Eugene is trying to be all holier than thou and was using humor to deal with the breakup of what he felt was a strong marriage. And so I was just at the point they were going back and forth. I was like, Curtis, shut up. Just shut up and let it go. The man done apologized, accept the apology and let it go. You put yourself into this situation. Everybody has something to say. So why are you harping on Eugene and not the other guys? So then in the room, Heavenly was sipping on some gin and juice. And so she started talking about, Curtis had a point, for being upset because, she thinks that a real man, if he had something to say, he would have said it to Curtis' face and not wait until he got into the green screen where they do their confessionals to be talking smack about Curtis and the way, everything went down. Then we move over to Cecil, and Cecil says that he hates his marriage has come to this point, but both people have to put in the work. So, like I said before, they both saying the same thing, so is neither one of them willing to accept their part in the breakdown of the marriage, which really is what all breakdowns in marriages come to, is neither person wants to bear the blame and admit to their shortcomings and what they've done to contribute to the marriage falling apart. So Aiden says that he's hurt by the news. He didn't know until it came up on the show because Simone delivered Lauren, their daughter, and he felt that they were like role models to all the other couples. And then Greg, he get all tongue-tied, don't know what the hell he wants to say. So I don't know what point he was trying to make. Scott says that, he just wants the couples to win and for families to be whole. And Damon points out that Cecil is still wearing his wedding ring. So to him, that means that there's hope. And that, it isn't over until it's over. And if, Cecil really wants to keep the marriage together, then he'll fight for it. So Cecil says that, he loves Simone. She was a wonderful wife, wonderful mother to his kids. He can't take any of that away from her, and that they had a great run. They were together for 21 years, and that's more than most people, but they just got to a bad place. And so Cecil admits that the female friend may have thrown a dagger into the relationship, but it snuck up on him so unexpectedly that he didn't have a chance, to deal with the situation. And, he just didn't see it coming. So I would love to know more about what role this woman played in the breakup of their marriage. So Andy asked the men, what it's like dealing with the alpha female. So Dr. G says that he was sick of Quad this season to the point that he was supporting Curtis stepping out on Chucky. Oh, Lord, Dr. G. So next they go to Eugene and Toya's sex life, which we really don't want to hear or to visualize. And he did let us know that Toya was lying when she said her freak number was off the chart and over 10. He says nowhere near 10, and that he would give both of them a 5. And that there is no Rick James action going on in their basement because it don't take all that to satisfy each other. So then Dr. Damon is asked about the masturbation theory, but, we didn't get to hear his answer because Eugene and Greg were talking over him. And, Dr. Damon is so quiet and meek that he just shut up. And, every now and then he would try to interject, but then they talk over him again. But he did say that at the end of the day, he really didn't want to discuss men masturbating anyway, and that he could believe that they were actually talking about that on the show. Then Andy reads a question that came in from one of the viewers. And so Damon is called out, about his comments about men cheating. And he says that he's just grateful that women are willing to give men a second chance when things happen. But he believes that most men would react differently if their women cheated on them. So then Andy asked him, he said, so if Dr. Heavenly cheated on you, but she apologized and said it was a mistake, you wouldn't be able to forgive her or take her back. And Damon says that he's just grateful that he has never cheated, so he don't know what he would do. But he conceded at the end that having never experienced infidelity, he doesn't know what he would do. He would like to think that he loves Heavenly enough that he would be able to forgive her, but he really don't know. But that man say he loved him some Heavenly. He could drink Heavenly dirty bathwater. He didn't say that, but that was the way that he was acting. And then we already know that Heavenly trapped him because she admitted that last episode. Heavenly, I hope you and Damon never get to a point where there's infidelity in y'all relationship, because that man might kill you. Oh, and then Damon also said that he believes that divorce is a win for Satan, and he is holding out hope for Simone and Cecil, and that the whole family unit is under attack with all the stuff that's going on in society today, and he just wants to see Jesus get a win. So the next section, everybody was together. All the husbands and wives are on the stage together. So Mariah has rejoined the group, but Heavenly decides that she doesn't owe Mariah an apology after all. And she thought that the picture was funny and the issue wasn't that deep. So the two get to arguing, and Toya tells Jackie to get her girl. And now Heavenly done told y'all about telling people to get her, that she's a grown woman. So it gets bigger than it needs to be with the other ladies. Simone, you know, when she get to yelling in that high-pitched voice of hers, and she putting her 2 cents in, and Toya putting her 2 cents in. So then Andy has to intervene, and then finally Jackie gets Heavenly to halfway apologize. But then Andy wanted to know why Mariah had the picture to begin with. And so Mariah said it was just a confidence booster. It was something that made her feel good, and she thought it was nice, and that's why she brought it. And that it was very childish and ghetto of Heavenly to draw on her picture, and that they're bigger than that, and she ain't trying to go in the gutter with Miss Heavenly. And Andy starts with Jackie and Curtis, and he had actually told Jackie before they started back filming that things were going to get a little tough, but you know, for her to just hang in there, and Jackie said okay. So he reads a viewer's question, and she brings up, you know, Jackie's comment from last year's reunion where she said that if Curtis wasn't happy, then he should go find someone else. So the group agreed that the comment was not a pass for Curtis to cheat, but basically an ultimatum to either work things out for the marriage, or they needed to end the marriage and go their separate ways. Then we go over to Quad and Dr. G, and because I don't care about Quad and Dr. G, it was kind of painful to watch and pretend that I have hope for their marriage, because I really don't. So they rehash what they've already talked about all season long, and the ladies, you know, Dr. G was talking, and he was saying basically that Quad is always saying that she doesn't feel appreciated, and that she likes nice things, that she wants to have the finer things in life. She wants the big house, she wants the designer clothes, she wants the jewelry and the fancy cars. So that's what he was providing to her. So he was naming off all the things that he's given her, and then the other lady was like, oh no, you're doing just what she said you do. You always get to talking about the monetary things. But what they keep overlooking is that Quad entered into the relationship saying that she wanted those things to be happy, and now she's acting like the material things don't really matter, which is a big contradiction. And Lord, Quad says that she wants a baby too. She also wants a baby, and she had already picked out the name, that if it's a girl, it's going to be named London Genevieve. And so I was like, I haven't heard that name before. I was like, was that a character in one of Eric Jerome Dickey books? Like, I was trying to figure out where I've heard that name before, or maybe Quad didn't mention that name before in a season gone by or whatever. But she knows she tried to have no baby for Dr. G. And then also when they were talking about the material things, we still ain't heard nothing else about that Mercedes-Benz Jeep that Quad allegedly purchased. Like, that has yet to come up again, so I'm thinking that was all for show. So Eugene jumps in and says that he too is confused as to what Quad wants, and says her messaging isn't very clear. So I was like, thank you, Eugene, it ain't just me. So the mess Quad talking about would be common sense stuff that happens in marriages, like your husband has a business, you're supposed to help your business. And there are so many, like I do virtual assistant work, because you guys know I work from home, and I just use my gifts and talents to make a living. But I am just amazed by the number of married women whose husbands have like small businesses, like construction business and stuff, and they refuse to help their husbands. Like, for whatever reason, they want the money that he's making, but they don't want to help with the business. And I'm just thinking, like, why are you letting money leave your house? And I'm talking about like things that you probably could do in a matter of 30 minutes at the end of the night that will go such a long way with helping your husband and keeping that money in the house. But it's not just Quad, there's other women out there, think that helping their husbands, because you're helping yourself by helping build his business. But Quad, she wants to be rewarded because she went in and helped the man set up his office and helped them hire people. I'm like, what the hell else was you doing? You was just sitting at the house. It ain't like you had to leave your job to go and do these things. But I was like, girl, go somewhere and sit down. We'll have time for this. Like, you don't want the man anymore. It is okay to say that you changed your mind. Stop torturing us, the viewers. So part 2 comes to a close with Quad saying that there are things that the group just don't know that's happening in her marriage, but she plans to keep them private. But Dr. G had other plans. So he decided he was going to one-up her and tell us what's really been going on. So he said that he had to went out with some of the homeboys, and he ended up in a hotel room with some women that they met at the club, and then the show kind of came to an end. So we won't find out till part 3 what really went down in that hotel room. So guys, that's it for me. Let me know what you thought about part 2 of the reunion. Leave your comments below, rate the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And until the next time, I shall talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.